And in this vlog right here, I decided to take this YouTube channel and all of my forces and everything that I have and dedicate it to new Muslims. And throughout my journey, I wanted to share with you guys today people who are thinking about Islam or new to Islam, my journey through the Qur'ans. See, a lot of people who are born Muslim don't really go through what us English first speakers go through when we first convert over to the religion. And the first thing is that we connect with is the Quran. And there's, as you see, my journey took 5 different English Qurans. And it doesn't matter which Quran that you get, because the key that you want to learn from this is reading your Quran. Whatever you have right now, that's the most crucial point, is to read the Quran. Starting off, my first Quran was this Quran that you see here. Now, this isn't the exact one, but this is the Noble Quran. What I liked about this is the version I had was much smaller, but the information that I liked about it, not only does it have Arabic and then English in here, it has the footnotes. And what first drew me to this Quran particularly is the things that are in the back of this translation of the Quran. First of all, this glossary. This glossary that you see here, let me see if I can get to the first page. See, the Quran ends. So you have, first of all, this glossary. It gave me a glimpse into a translation of Arabic words that I hear often, but I didn't really know what the people were saying, and the way it was written and the letters. And, you know, when I wanted to write it out, I didn't know how to spell certain words. And this was a big key for me, because I would hear people talk about it, like adhan, right? Adkar, al-hijr, al-fatiha. These are just different glossary terms that I like. And throughout my years, you know, of this book, that glossary was something that I would turn to looking up. The other thing that it had is, being that I was a Christian, and what drew me in was the prophets mentioned in the Quran. They give you some background of the Quranic names and then noble names that they use, or as names that I recognize in more of the Christian faith, right? And then why Allah sent prophets and messengers. This was good. Tawheed, that was a very, very, very important word for all new Muslims to know. And this book had the different things. Tawheed, talked about Shahada. And these footnotes really drew me in. And the biggest thing that really drew me in was when it went to the Jesus and Muhammad, peace be upon them, in the Bible and the Quran. When you're first coming into the faith and someone hands you a free Quran like this, you know, these footnotes are very key, because it talks about Christianity. It talks about, you know, what we're used to. Matthew, it starts citing them. And this, what made this Quran really good for me, was the footnotes in the back, right? But as I start evolving and start learning and reading more of the Quran, I graduated. Actually, I came across this, the meaning of the Quran, translated by Abdullah Yusuf Ali. This was when I was first introduced into footnotes in the Quran, right? Footnotes of hadith and authentic hadith and commentary by the author or the translator of the Quran. This one, I mean, the commentary was just amazing, because the commentary, it made me start pondering the verses outside of just reading the English on it. Now this, the big difference between these two is the English in this one is a little bit more general and older. This one is more of a Shakespearean way, a way that, you know, the Bibles used to read when we were younger, like the thee, the thou, O ye who believe, different things like that. But what really drew me in was the footnotes, the commentary, along with at the beginning of the chapters. And to give you an idea of a footnote that I liked, the commentary that I liked about this was like before every surah there a commentary, and then right here. is the one of the last footnotes in here that just made you think about it, which really lifted my mind on this Quran, was this footnote. What can we do to make Allah's light shine forth through the darkness around us? We must first let it shine with our own true selves. With that light in the niche of our innermost hearts, we can walk with steps both firm and sure. We can humbly visit the comfortless and guide their steps. Not we, but the light will guide. But oh, the joy of being found worthy to bear the torch and to say to our brethren, I was once too in the darkness, comfortless, and behold, I have found comfort and joy in the grace divine. So that was just like the last footnote in here, right? So after reading this in the English, like I said, I was reading it and the footnotes more got me. In the old English, it was okay, but it made me really want to learn Arabic. And as I start moving along of trying to understand and read Arabic, and I started learning letters, because key, you should always want to learn Arabic, period. To really get the true fruit of the Quran, take an Arabic class, please. This is just only to get you to a certain level, but then you're going to need that, right? Going back to this. So then when I started learning Arabic, that's when I wanted something, and this is the message of the Quran. This isn't, and this is translated by Muhammad Assad. This was not the one I had, but what I want to show you is there are certain Qurans out there that has the transliteration. If y'all can see that right there. This is transliterated. So it's kaifa, and then you see it right here in English, right? Spelt out an English word. Kaifa takfuruna billahi wa kuntum. You see that? There's the Arabic there, and then here is the transliteration. These books are great too, because once you're studying Arabic, it helps you read and to make sure that you're pronouncing a word correctly. I mean, I was not stuck on it, but I used this for a very long time until the transliteration made me really want to learn Arabic, because sometimes there's some words and some letters that they mean or they use while dhalin, you'll see it spelt in different ways. So this was good because it helped me make sure that I was pronouncing words right. It gave me great English. It gave me great footnotes. It was like all these in one single book right here. But then, alhamdulillah, over a couple of years ago, I was able to read Arabic. So through that experience, I start turning to apps, because the apps will help you translate words. And we'll get into apps later. I just want to talk about the Quran from now. These translations of the Qurans, right? So that's when I got into this book here. When I started reading Arabic, that's when I moved over. I basically left these books because the older English. Then I came across this Quran here. This Quran, and you can find this at your local bookstore, major bookstore. This was a really good Quran to me because it is the translation. It doesn't have Arabic in it, but it's written in a book form. And this is the Quran, the Oxford Classic Edition. So it has I would say modern English in it, as most modern that we can get here, right? This translation by M.A.S. Abdul Halim, this is a very good, because this is one that I have conversations with just normal everyday people, not historians, not people who debate religion, but just normal everyday conversation. If I'm able to, say and have conversations with plain English and not say thou or O ye who believe and different words like that, people tend to listen more. Like this, it reads, shall I seek any judgment other than God, when it is he who has clearly sent down for you people the scriptures, clearly explained? those to whom we gave the scripture that this Quran is revealed by your Lord / prophet with the truth. So do not be one of those who doubt. And that is like in a novel, like a story novel sense. Now, what I really liked about this one here is the paragraphs. Each paragraph, when it breaks up the paragraph, I started to find more in line with the subjects of the Quran. Because one will pick up a Quran early and they will read it line after line after line. They were like, oh man, this skips around. How is it talking about this? How is it talking about that? And you can't follow the subject matter at first. Like I said, we're used to, here's the story, here's the middle, here's the end. Versus the Quran, it talks and gives examples of, to me, as I see it, like a spiritual, something in your mind, and then the physical of that story happening. And it always is on point. And also what I liked about this one, as I started picking up other study guides, like if you want to learn the science behind each line of Quran, of Arabic Quran, of the Arabic words, you will pick up something they call a tafsir. And what that is the science of the Quran. That's for a scholar. I'm not a sheikh. I'm not a scholar. I'm just a normal guy on a journey like you. But when I started using study guides like the Ibn Kathir, I noticed that these paragraphs will go with the subjects, right? The subjects of these tafsir. And it wasn't just all one lump sum together. I just noticed that these breaks will stay with a certain subject and then go on to the next one. And you'll notice that about this. And it's easy to share the themes. It gives you a little bit of background right before every surah. It gives you in plain English translation, like the cow for Surah Baqarah, the cave, the feast. Nisa is woman. So that's why I like this one here, because it was like really good to give to somebody. Like, here's the plain book, boom, read it, right? Then finally, I wanted to talk about the clearer Quran. This is endorsed by the Al Furqan Foundation. I picked this book up, Clear Lake Islamic Center. They came and they talked, and they had these books for free. This Quran, by far, is one. I can't call it no more than what it is. The translation is the clear Quran. Now, the English isn't as strong as the Oxford. It's very good, but what I love about this one here is the way that it breaks the paragraphs up and it lets you know what the message is, right? Contained into those certain ayats. Ayat 5 to 6, these talk about signs in God's creation. So it helps you mentally connect with the ayats that you are reading. So this was my journey through the Quran. I went from a free one like this one to actually getting a hold of one with great footnotes, then wanting to know more and read Arabic a little bit better. So I went to this one with the transliteration, the English transliteration and Arabic. Then from this one, I went to a Quran by itself and using apps. Just because you hold the button down, and that's a different, like I said, video. Then reading and studying, I always carry this Quran with me, this one that you can buy at your local bookstore. And if you have an opportunity and you're a new Muslim, I highly suggest the Clear Quran. I can't say this is a free book. I highly suggest this book here if you're looking and trying to connect using English. This is the closest you're going to get. Listen, you can not really truly appreciate the Quran in English. You have to always be striving to get to reading Arabic and understanding it. You will, inshallah, you'll do that. Getting around people who know the Quran best forwards and backwards. Getting around a sheikh who can, if you see something that doesn't look right, go into a sheikh, your interpretation could be off, or you don't have background on the story. I can't say that enough. That's what helped me, navigate through these different Qurans now to where I'm at and, feel comfort to talk to you guys out there. This is all I got for y'all today. This is my journey through the Quran. I hope you find something interesting about my journey. And if you have any questions, hit me up. And I thank y'all for listening to me. And this is my journey through the translated messages of the Quran. See you when I see you. Subscribe, like, all that good stuff. Thank you.